How's things up at Capital Prize?
Greg, do you want to answer that?
How's things
Yeah,
up
it's
at
been
Capital Prize?
quiet. I'm gonna try to get Paul on as well, but yeah, kind of quiet. I think people are looking for alternatives to skiing since the snow's not the greatest. So we had a good New Year's, but
Yeah.
that time of year.
Yeah. Well, that's good. How's Country Boy, Jonathan?
I've been on paternity leave since October. But
Congratulations.
thank you. I met up with Mike. We went and toured the bobtail the other day after hours with one of their employees, and Mike said that it's been slow. So, like everybody else, the lack of snow is really messing with us. Because if there's no snow in Summit, no one's even going to come up from Denver.
Yeah.
So, it's what it is.
It is what it is. Ryan, how's everything up at the Compromise?
Good, good. We've just been, well, it's, as you know, we're kind of locked out with what snow we have, but I have cameras up there just making sure everything's safe. And I just ordered my first XRF gun, so I'm excited to play with that toy. When it comes in, they just calibrated it this morning, so we'll see how that goes.
Chris, how are we doing?
Fighting the computer the entire way. Apologies for being a little
Right?
late.
Yeah.
I never could
Yeah.
get in the account, cannot remember the password. I'm locked out for 30 minutes now, so I'll just be user for this meeting.
Yeah, there you go. All right. How's everything up at your market?
Heidi's doing all right, actually.
Good.
For winter. I mean, slow.
So
Got a lot anytime there's a chance for a snow day, but this last week it's just been cold and windy.
yeah.
Wish we would get a little bit more snow.
Good. And we'll give it a couple more minutes and we'll just go ahead and get started. I assume some of the folks from the Smuggler would join, but
Fred just came on, Brandon.
okay, yeah, yep. Hey Fred, how we doing?
Doing good. Sorry, I had my
It's
mic
all
muted, and then also on the other one, I'm on a job site today, so I'll be pulled in many directions.
well, perfect. All right, how's everything going up at Smuggler?
Going well. Chris Preusch might not be joining today. He is recovering successfully from heart surgery. So he had a arrhythmia, I think, with his heart that they worked on, and he's due to be fully recovered here in 3 or 4 days. So
Good.
um,
I'm glad it went well.
it did go well.
Good. All right.
And
Dave, how we doing?
you probably won't see Parker on this call, but he's still around.
Okay. All righty, sounds good.
And Sean's sitting beside me over here at the job site, but
Well, hello, Sean. Good night from us.
yep. We
All
both
right.
have guns to our head right now, and they're not the XR gun that we wish.
All right. Well, please lower them. All right. Sounds good. Well, I think we've got representation from a good number of minds, maybe not all of them, but we'll just kind of keep an eye out. If somebody tries to join in a little bit later, we'll go ahead and get started. That way we can hopefully get this meeting ended and you guys can get on with your daily lives.
We ready?
I think we're ready. All right. So we'll go ahead and record this. It'll be available on the YouTube. All right. All right. Well, thank you again for coming. We appreciate your guys's continued effort to get through this logically and successfully. Hopefully you got everybody here on this call got our revised uh, draft rules that we talked about at our last meeting. We can go through them. If you like, we can go through them. We only said there's only one page. I think there's 4 different changes is all. And most of them were at the request of what was sent to us. So let me go ahead. I can go ahead and pull them up and we can talk about them. And then if we guys have anything else we'd like to talk about, we sure can. Let me share my screen here. And just if I can get this a little bit bigger for. All right, okay, so obviously the first one we changed was the definition of conveyance. Conveyance means hosting and lowering mechanism equipped with a car or platform for carrying persons between 2 or more landings. That's directly out of the statute for oil and public safety. All right, do we have any? I thought I heard somebody say something. All right. And then the second one was Rule 2, the general requirements. If tourist mine conducts prospecting or exploration activities or maintains an approved exploration or prospecting permit, a description of how the prospecting or exploration operations do not materially impact the safety of the tourist mine operator, or those regulations shall be submitted to MSTP for review. I do know this was a big one that we kind of got hung up onto last time. What are our thoughts on this one?
This is Kent. This is definitely progress, positive progress from the thoughts that were shared last time.
Okay. All right, so we'll just kind of move on, and if we have any questions or concerns, we can get to them at the end. The one change that we did do, it was an oversight on our part. It was Rule 6, fire prevention and controls, number 17. Any new mine entrance at least 200 foot inside the mine portal or collar timber used for ground support in intake openings and in an exhaust opening that are designed as escapeways shall be, and we just changed that to reflect any new versus the already existing. And I mean, I think that was the only change there, is just that one word. Okay. Next one, Rule 9, equipments and machinery requirements. Basically we took it and we had 2 different numbers. I think we had a 30-foot or 30-inch and a 30-inch and a 40-inch. We took it and matched up what rest of the regulation said, which was 40-inch. Provided the initial adequate to assure the safety of persons along underground hallways where continuous clearance of at least 40 inches cannot be maintained from the furthest projection of moving equipment on the at least one side of the hallway end. So we changed that to match rest of the standards that was in our rules. And then Rule 10, personal protection. Employees required to work in an isolated area of the mine away from the tour route must have available an approved self-rescue device, cap lamp, and a gas detector. All right. Going down here. And I think the last one was the communication piece. Communication system must be installed and maintained in a functional condition for the purpose of an effective way of communicating between surface and underground operations. And we changed it from training to instruction shall be provided to all tourists on proper usage of communication systems in the event of an emergency. All right. All right, was there any of these? I mean, we didn't pull in any of the other ones that we kind of went through. was there any of these that we feel that need to be modified or you guys would like to comment on? And then, you know, if there's something we missed along the way, please let us know.
The feedback I received was fairly positive. Seemed to cover the bases there.
Okay,
I'd have a question on the self-rescuers.
okay.
Some alternatives. I know, well, like, does every guest need to have a self-rescuer, or how's this going to be?
No, that's if you look at employees. So guests
Okay.
are employees, yeah.
Plus, it's off of the tourist route. So
Yeah.
effectively, the way I'm reading this is if you're off your tourist route a goodly ways, you need to be equipped with that. But maintenance done on the regular tour route, you're not required to have those necessarily unless it's needed. Am I
Correct.
reading that correctly?
Yeah. Yeah, because typically your tour route is you guys go in and you it's lit up and you guys inspect it, right? So this is just for areas within the mine that you're going that are not part of that tour route that's not inspected.
Got it.
I mean, it's always a good idea to have one on you, but
Right.
it's not for the public, general public.
They look
And if
nice
there,
anyways.
like the smuggler had stations where there's a rescue device, anything like that as alternatives.
Yeah, well, I mean, the way we worded it is employees are required to work in an isolated area of the mine away from the tour route must have available. So as long if you have stashes that are, 10 minutes away or something like that, that's, that's acceptable.
I like it.
Yeah. So
When do we receive a new copy with this? Just a full copy, the entire rules with the changes and everything, with these incorporated into the original document.
Yeah, Chris, this is Jason Music with the division. What we'll do is we'll run through these do the stakeholder meeting. If everybody's okay with it, I mean, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but this is kind of what we weeded out after our first meeting, and so we didn't change anything from the other ones. And these are the ones that we received good feedback on, and so we've changed these. Once we agree to them through the stakeholder process, we're going to run them through the entire document because that documents the draft red lines for the entirety of the rules. And then that's what the division director will receive once we go to the actual formal hearing of these rules in February. So once we get through with this, we will run them through and then everybody will get a copy. They'll also be on our website. All the new stuff, the new draft, everything that's going to go to the division director for review.
Perfect. Thank you.
Can we come together as a group then, as stakeholders, and agree that we're okay with these changes for the sake of for the state's time? I think I'm fine with them.
Well, we'll see. The process seems pretty well lined out. So yeah.
And my guess is probably in the next couple of weeks, because there's not a significant number of changes here. A lot of them were, like Brandon said, accommodating comments from the last stakeholders, incorporating the email that you all sent to us. Not sure when that was, early December. We appreciate that. That was very helpful, kind of helping us streamline, in particular, the definition of kind of that 10H section on the exploration component. We'll plug in the rules. They'll be on the website. This is set for hearing on the 12th. Is that right, Jason and Brandon?
That's correct. February 12th at 9 a.m.
9 a.m. Yeah.
And so that's the official kind of stakeholder hearing where division director will review the rules. He'll take comment from you all. He'll take comment and testimony from the division and then kind of issue his ruling on the rules. If you all are comfortable with the rules as they sit in those red lines, please show up to the hearing and kind of voice those comments. You can submit written comments if you've got conflicts on the hearing day. I guess we just want to make sure that, yeah, if you are all comfortable and supportive of this draft of rules, that the division director knows that going into the hearing, just so that he's aware that, you know, there's not contested issues. It sounds like that most of the issues that were raised or resolved, it would certainly streamline the hearing process. That's for sure.
Could you repeat the date again, please?
It's February 12th at 9 a.m.
You'll be sharing
it's-
that. You'll be sharing that link with us, Jeff.
Yeah, I think we'll send out we'll probably just refresh the notice of hearing. It's on the division's website as well. If you jump on the website and scroll down, there's a whole section on just the tourist mine rules. So you'll have all of the draft rules.
Okay.
We'll send it by email as well. And I think that's a hybrid hearing as well. So if you want to show up in person, you can, but there'll be a virtual option to make things easier and streamlined.
And after the 12th is when the document is basically changed, correct? The rules are changed.
So if Michael Cunningham's the director, if he approves this, he'll kind of officially approve the rules. There's still a bit of a rulemaking process through the Secretary of State. So within 20 days after the 12th, it goes back to the Attorney General's office through it's called the rule opinion process. It's just our office signing off that they're constitutional, that there's no legal deficiencies or conflicts. And then once that kind of works its way through the process, they'll be official. And then I believe that I can't remember if it's 20 or 30 days after that date, they're then official and in effect. But I'll have all that information ready at the hearing on the 12th as well. So you all know when these rules are in effect.
Great.
And like we said in our last meeting, we're going to use this first, 6 months, a year, whatever it takes, just to kind of a break-in process. We're not going to just come guns a-blazing. We'll work through this process as a group. So
Appreciate that.
Yeah, I mean, the hope is that none of these changes will have significant impacts on the way you all are currently running your operations. I think it obviously kind of tightens up some of the reporting and just record keeping and availability of those things. But yeah, this isn't a hard kind of enforcement type of process. It's an ease in and see what works and what doesn't work. A lot of these rules are still drafted with lots of flexibility and discretion to work through those things with Brandon and his group.
And there's no need now with this dual use permit question that we had before. It kind of just washes away. It's the same as before, correct? No.
It's essentially the same. I mean, there's still, if you are planning on doing any prospecting or exploration work, you don't currently have an approved permit or NOI. You have to submit those to the division. You have to explain how it's not going to impact the safety of running tours. But yeah, I mean, that process more or less stays kind of status quo. We'll take another look at the board policy on this. We'll likely have to have the board modify some of their policy. But yeah, for those with current NOIs that are doing exploration, just keep it up to date. Make sure that what is needed is there, and if it's not, then Brandon and his group will reach out and again kind of tidy up the record keeping on that end as well.
Sure. Okay.
Well, that was my issue, of course. It needs to extend beyond current NOIs. We need to protect the ability to get an NOI in the future, or else it's going to lose support.
And that's how this language is. If you want to conduct prospecting or exploration, you just have to submit the plan to the division for review. You have to prove that your exploration activities is not going to materially impact the safety of tourist mines.
Is there an appeals process? If something were to come up and they were to say, well, just the mere fact that you're a tourist mine negates your ability to do this, for instance, what would be an appeal process to that? Is there going to be anything instituted in the language that allows for that?
That's where we get into some of the overlap with the Hard Rock Act and the Hard Rock regulations that regulate the NOI process. If you submit an NOI to the mining division and it is denied for whatever reason, maybe it is just based on tourist mine, there is a process in the Hard Rock regulations. It's Rule 1.4.11 that you can appeal within 30 days of that office decision to the mining board. So there's no appeal process in these rules, but it overlaps with the Hard Rock regulations, and there's appeal process there. This is also where the Administrative Procedures Act in Colorado will kick in. That also gives you appeals right through that separate statute as well.
All right. Sounds like there's avenues.
There's
Thank you.
tons of process. Yeah. Anytime a permit or license is either approved or denied, there's appeal rights and procedures in place for that.
Thank you. That answers my question. And then, of course, with this coming up on February 12th, I know you just went through it, but saving me to go back through a recording. We will have that with plenty of time to review the document before the meeting, right? You know, at least a week of time. Something that has this incorporated that the director is going to see. I'm sorry.
Yeah, again, I don't want to tie us down to too quick a deadline, but there's not a lot of changes that we need to incorporate into the full kind of red line rule set. We'll also modify, there's a statement of basis and purpose that's part of the rulemaking process that we'll update with these changes as well. My guess is in the next week or two, all of this stuff will be incorporated. We'll kind of blast an email out to all of you. It'll be on the website, so you should have plenty of time to review it before the hearing on the 12th. We also want to make sure that Michael Cunningham also has access to all this stuff well in advance of the hearing, just so he has time to review and prepare for that hearing. And then you all, like I said, if you want to submit written comments in support of, or just kind of let Michael know where you're at, that's fine. If you want to just hold that and present at the hearing itself, that's fine as well. I mean, it seems like we're in consensus on these rules, so it should be a fairly simple process. I don't want to jinx us and have you guys come up with potential issues.
Me knocking on the desk.
Right.
No, I agree. I don't anticipate any issues. You guys have been really appreciate you guys really working so easily with our suggestions, and the changes were all, most of them were pretty much just to work away from the book. I don't anticipate any issues. I just want to have time to review it,
Just a
Brandon,
quick
Jason, sorry, go ahead.
quick question. Is there any possibility that these would be changed in any way other than incorporated with the rest, with the existing stuff, that on the 12th there would be any surprise, or is it pretty much locked down the way it is right now? But the integration.
Michael Cunningham, as the director, he's got the authority to change whatever he wants to change. So in his review, if he sees something that he wants to do different, he's got the authority to do that. I don't think that will happen. I think Brandon, Jason, and I, as kind of staff to him on this, we're going to recommend just approval of these rules. So Jason, I don't know if you have anything to add, but I don't anticipate significant changes. He might tweak a few things. Maybe between now and that here, we might find some typos or commas or other things. So there may be some just edits like that, but I don't anticipate any substantive changes that will kind of make you nervous. Jason, what do you think?
Yeah, certainly. I agree with Jeff, Kent. I think that what we've agreed upon here in the 2 stakeholder meetings and what you'll see in the draft, there will be no changes there. We'll run through it, of course, before we go final with this final red line draft, and make sure, as Jeff stated, maybe some typos, the way that it reads, some maybe misspellings. That's it. That's all we're really going to hit on. And then to Jeff's point, the division director is going to certainly rely on staff. As we've been through this process, we've been through the stakeholders. Brandon and his staff serve as our subject matter experts in this arena. So the division director is certainly going to rely on staff. So to Jeff's point, I don't see him really changing any substantive rules that we've already agreed upon through 2 stakeholder meetings. If he changes anything, if he reads through it, it might be, like I said, a typo or a spelling, something like that. But I would not anticipate any substantive changes. That, to Jeff's point, that doesn't mean he can't. I just don't believe he will do that. So,
and this process is kind of what every board or commission that does rulemaking wants is to have the stakeholders work with staff to reach agreement and consensus so that it's not contested. I mean, it does nobody any good to have contested regulations. We want things that will be workable and are enforceable and make logical sense for you all that are actually implementing these things. So I think it should be a pretty streamlined process with Michael as well.
Great. Well, we appreciate it. All of you guys working on this.
Yeah, like I
Agreed.
said,
Thank you.
we'll try to get our end wrapped up and posted, and as soon as we get it all wrapped up, Kim can send you out the email like she has in the past, and so
Okay.
yeah.
We'll look out for it. And thanks again.
Okay. Well, thank you. Appreciate all you guys' time.
All right.
Hey,
Yeah.
hey, and here's the
Have a good day.
silver going. Here's the silver hitting $100 an ounce. It's coming.
Yeah.
There you go.
Thanks, Fred. See ya. Bye, guys.
All right.
If there's
You
any
guys have a
doubt,
great day.
it's a record.
Thanks, Sal.
Thank you.
Today is a record day, so
Yeah.
if there's any doubt, it's certainly going that way with a rocket up its tail.
It is. It's almost there.
Yep. All right. Have a great day,
See
everybody.
everyone.
Bye, guys. See
Thanks,
ya.
Sal.
It's chemistry. Just go to leave.